especially when you discover like a squirrel fight club going on, which is always really interesting because every once in a while it happens and it's fun to watch, but it's also annoying because then the dogs get amped up and it's like, let's go break it up. Fuck it, let's go get them. Ah, and they get all amped up.
Let's back up. Explain to me this squirrel fight club.
So occasionally I'll walk out.
They're very territorial.
Yeah, they're very territorial.
Rodents
What does
are
a Tyler
all mad.
Durden squirrel look like?
Prettier than you.
Hey?
Because if it's like Tyler Durden and it's Brad Pitt, then it's prettier than you. It's the Brad Pitt of squirrels, but
yeah, it's just I just run into squirrels fighting randomly. Like that happens in my neighborhood. So yeah, it's super annoying because the dogs won't go and concentrate to poop because they're so amped up watching the squirrels fight. And like Mandy's actually stumbled on them fighting near a pool or near the pool, and like one of them is all bloody and messed up, and then they see the dogs and they just stop. Like it's like, okay, bro, we'll put this on hold. Don't you worry though. We'll continue this later.
So the moment you said pool, my brain immediately was like, is one of those squirrels pulling off a sick like environmental takedown of like holding another squirrel underwater or something?
Not yet. Soon, but we'll see.
See, what comes into my head is the scene out of Lionheart, the Van Damme classic, where the last battle is in fact or not the last one, but one of the battles is indeed in a partially drained pool.
I know I've seen it, 'cause I'm like, yeah, that's a Van Damme movie.
Oh, I've watched almost
weird
every
dance
single
fighting going on.
Yeah, I've watched almost every single Van Damme movie that has ever existed. I think I may have watched them all. I think I've literally watched them all. And I'm not sure what that says about me.
Hello and welcome to the Wicked Awesome Cast episode 140. Shenanigans, level 140. Yes. And we're back. Another week of shenanigans. Right, guys? Shenanigans?
Sure.
Yeah,
Shenanigans.
shenanigans. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, so we're back. I am, of course, Alex, a.k.a. Mave Online. I am joined here today with Mordak, a.k.a. Charlie. That's his government name. And then we have Henry, a.k.a. Nomad Har, which is just what I'm going to go by, but I know he goes by another one. What's the other one?
Kraken Zero.
There we go, Kraken Zero. I mean, actually, you know what? Now that I think about it, how many times have we actually done intros where we reference your actual tag, Henry?
I don't think you have. I don't think we've ever mentioned my. I mean, Nomad Har is like my username for a lot of stuff, and Kraken Zero is my other username for a lot of other stuff.
Yeah, I was gonna say the Kraken name is kind of his wrestling business name too.
Oh, that's his wrestling name?
Yep, and basically it's a brand. Yeah.
Do you slam people into the depths? Is that like your move? Yes.
Yep.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I got it.
Please tell me you have a move called Undertow.
Oh, that would be cool. Come on.
No, I do have a move called the DLC though.
You have to pay extra to see it?
It kind of feels like it was cut from the main content.
Oh. When pay-per-view has DLC, we've reached
Pay-per-view
peak.
is DLC.
It's literally DLC to the because you can watch the normal show for free. You can go watch Raw or whatever, for free on whatever network, on USA or whatever.
Well, that's like saying music concerts are DLC.
Yep, they are.
No, they're not, because no part of music is free.
No, YouTube is free.
You are still technically paying. Like
You are.
Yeah.
You're getting ads. So.
Then you're stealing, but
So yeah, Henry Kraken Zero, the thief.
Yeah. Yep. That's me.
You're the guy they talk about when they say you wouldn't download a car. You download cars, don't you?
I would also
yeah.
download a car.
To be honest, I'd fucking download a car in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I think it's a pretty safe assumption if you're on this podcast, you would probably download a car if you could.
Yep.
Hell, I might actually have some 3D print files of cars I have no use for currently downloaded, just so I could be like, yo, I'm downloading a car! 'Cause I would.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, yes. But yeah. Podcast. Woo! You guys excited? I mean,
Sure.
after all, it is the game that should not be named happening today as we're recording this. Hasn't started yet, but happening today.
Way to cement this episode in time. Yes, I understand both of you want to be watching the British cricket finals right now, but thanks for taking some time out of your schedule to record a podcast.
I'm saying it happens to be the same day. I only want to watch that because the commercials. I could care less about the game. It's Tom Brady there yet again.
Yes, Tom Brady, famous cricket player.
Yes, he'll be there yet again. No one gives a shit.
I kind of
I
wish
care about the commercials.
As someone who in theory should care about the Super Bowl because the team I grew up rooting for is in it, even I'm like, I don't give a fuck.
Well, that's the thing. As much as people want to give him hate, the dude is fucking good. Like, there's no denying the dude's skill.
Sure,
and his
like,
team is good.
Again, like I should be like, yeah, on this one. Even I'm bored of the Patriots being in the Super Bowl. It's like, oh man, I gotta watch it this year. Fuck.
Yeah, and I'm totally not. I'm definitely not. I have way better things to do with my time, like stare at the wall and watch paint dry.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's way down there on my list of things I would actually resort to.
I'm far more invested in how many of the ads this year are secretly tied commercials. That's what I care more about. Like, can they follow up last year's brilliant Tide campaign with something that I'm equally invested in, enough to name a podcast episode about?
You think this might be a podcast? No
Tide commercial. No, given how I'm dressed, it's definitely not a Tide ad. Definitely not.
Yeah. But yeah,
enough about corporations we're not sponsored to talk about.
Right?
And a sporting event none of us really care about.
But if you listen to
Oh, no.
We Are Pretty Filthy Tide, sponsor us. Sponsor us.
Wicked
I'm trying to be
Awesomecast
subtle
brought to you
here.
by Tide. Tide. Apparently they'll sponsor any shit.
I'm trying to be subtle here, but fucking sponsor us. Was that subtle? I don't know if it was subtle enough.
So, what you been up to this week, Alex?
Let's take a look here. I haven't heard of the fact that I hate squirrels.
Did you play the Anthem demo at least?
I haven't actually downloaded it yet. No,
The
I actually.
fuck is wrong with you?
Dude, I've been so caught up with stuff. I've been busy this week.
What have you been busy with?
Not playing games, actually.
What have you actually been busy with?
I don't remember.
Exactly.
Like, that's the thing. I know
Liar.
I've been busy, but I don't remember with what. I just
World
know
of
I haven't
Warcraft. You've
played...
been seeing that bitch World of Warcraft again, haven't you?
No, actually, I have not played a lot of World of Warcraft this week.
What?
Yeah, I logged on, like, Monday and Tuesday, and that was it. Like, after that, I logged in maybe yesterday. Well, I logged in yesterday for Raid, but, like normally I'd play, like, Tuesday, Wednesday, too, but, like, I just haven't had a lot of time to be on. I was also sick, Wednesday, so I was, like, I tried to get on for, like, an hour, and I'm like, nope, fuck this. I'm going right back to bed. So, but yeah,
So you have been seeing that bitch World of Warcraft behind our backs.
But I haven't not been seeing that bitch World of Warcraft. Let's be honest here. But just not at the intensity that you would accuse me of right now.
Mm-hmm.
Feel a little attacked.
Did you raid this week?
Yeah. I raid every week.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I raid every week.
I got no more energy for this joke. I got nothing else to do with.
But yeah, other than that, like, it's been kind of a slow week. I did actually go out and have a really nice date night with the girlfriend, which was really nice.
Are you in polar vortex territory?
Getting snow pretty soon. So
snow is not polar vortex. That's just called weather.
Yeah.
No, polar vortex is when the newscast actually says try not to talk because even speaking is dangerous in this cold. Seriously, that was a thing that was actually said on the news.
If we have any listeners currently going through the polar vortex, dude, that fucking sucks.
Yeah.
There's not a goddamn thing this podcast can do to help you except maybe entertain you, but
Just
stay safe.
Put on another layer. You'll be okay. Just suck it up.
And apparently, if you're outside, don't even open your mouth to speak.
Don't go outside. Like that's the first mistake you made, was leaving your house.
Yeah.
It's nowhere near on the same scale, but like my girlfriend, who is not from a place that gets cold all that frequently, has been kind of following the polar vortex news with just fascination. And I am from a place that this is not me gatekeeping being cold, but some of these shocking stuff next is stuff that just kind of not happened every year, but happened with enough frequency where I grew up. It's like, yeah, no, that sucks. I've lived through it a couple times. Yeah, -20 fucking blows. Having school closed, not for snow, but because going outside might give you frostbite, is terrible.
Yeah. And terrifying.
Yes. No, it's been it has been interesting following it, because it's kind of this like, oh yeah, that sucks. And this is why I don't live in cold places anymore.
Yep.
I remember all this shit happening growing up. It was terrible.
Yeah, no polar vortex here. As far as I know, I don't know if I'll reach that. I just know we're getting snow, so I look forward to taking on the snow for the first time, because I've never lived in a place where it actually. Yes, it is.
They allow spikes on tires in Portland.
That's for sure.
You can't do spikes on roads, I don't think, is the rule. Regardless of state, because they just destroy.
Yeah. But I know that I don't remember, there is something which, definitely it's one of the places that actually do allow spikes on tires, but not on, major roads and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Which is... But so at least there's rules there that allow you to actually get around still when there's a heavy winter.
So yeah, I just look forward to the snow. It's going to be fun. I am very excited about it, because, like I said, I've never lived in a place where it actually snows. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm excited for your first snow. I'm not gonna try and gatekeep being colder weather, but it defines you as a person.
It's cool, but honestly, I grew up in the Midwest. Yeah, I saw snow most winters. A lot of winters, actually. Saw snow all the time, and ice definitely, if not snow. So, yeah, because of that, it's weird for me to think that there's a lot of people in the world in general that haven't seen snow in person. Why is the sky attacking us with cold?
I just done what my girlfriend did, which was look directly up into the sky, go, oh god, it's snow, this is so cool, and get smacked in the eye by a giant snowflake.
Ooh.
The first time she saw snow, it was this great 10-second thing of, it's so pretty, oh god, it's so cold! TV and movies have lied to me! And they have.
Yes, absolutely.
Guess I'll go next. I played 2 things this week. I checked out the Anthem public demo.
Is that still going on, by the way?
It is running through Sunday, which they were recording this, so yes, it is in theory still up. I don't know what to think if this are fixed. They're replaced with a couple new connectivity issues. They unlock javelins for us. If you were in the VIP demo, that's you can try all the javelins now in the public demo, I guess, which is cool because I have to try them all out.
Mm-hmm.
It's connectivity issues. The game, what the game is still fun to me, and they did a real good job of fixing that VIP demo to the public. I believe they can fix all this stuff. They said, yeah, we got it, and they appear to have for the most part.
Oh yeah, they've also added skins, free skins.
Vinyls, yeah. So if you were in the VIP demo, you were always going to get 1 vinyl. You're now getting 2.
Yep.
Both look pretty cool. The final system is something I thought looked real lame when they were showing it off, and in hindsight, I'm like, these are actually okay. It's the demo you're playing. The public demo is the exact same build as the VIP demo for the most part, because all my progress from the VIP demo carried into the public demo, which on one hand was kind of annoying because it meant I had less to do in the public demo, but also it meant I could just fuck around with the javelins however I wanted to, which was kind of nice. And I've now played all 4 javelins, and it is impressive and a little concerning just how different that game is depending on what javelin you're playing.
Mm-hmm.
Like in a good way though, like to make the obvious comparison, like to Warframe and Destiny, where the game is definitely different depending on what class you're playing, but also not really to a certain extent. The Colossus, the Ranger, the Interceptor, and the Storm all play really differently to each other, to the point where, like, if you're using a sniper rifle on anything but the Storm, I think you're playing that game wrong.
Huh.
Wait, using what again?
If you're playing with a sniper rifle on any javelin except the Storm, I genuinely think you're playing that game wrong. Like, if you are playing an Interceptor and aren't running like an SMG or a machine pistol or something in a shotgun build, I also think you're probably playing that game wrong. Like, if you're playing a Colossus and not using the Colossus specific weapons, again, wrong. And like, the Ranger's Master Chiefy generic soldier of the classes, but also it's you could run a sniper rifle on that, but like, marksman rifle and a thing with full auto or a shotgun is probably better. Just like, every javelin has very specific kind of ranges of engagement, and there's a lot of perceived overlap of how the kind of different weapon types work. And there is there is LMGs, auto rifles, and submachine guns, and machine pistols. Maybe SMGs and machine pistols are the same thing. I'm not totally sure, but like, they're all bullet spray firing weapons. But the range of engagement is so different from each gun that's like, nah. They really are different depending on what javelin you're playing as. Like, it's the Interceptor is all about run and gun, like down to it's the most agile javelin in the game, which is cool. Its flight system is different. I'm not saying like the up and down, the actual mechanics of flying are different. It's the fact that you can you kill your jets in that game and you kind of drop. The javelin, the Interceptor, you can whip around the camera so fast. The fastest way to turn with that thing is actually disengage your thrusters, slam the camera, and like just you can zip all the fuck over the place with that thing because of how it works, and you cannot do that with any of the other javelins. Like, it's a very intentional feature to that thing, which is cool and weird. Yeah, like, it's the Storm has the Warlock jump from Destiny, where instead of its double jump being like a air boost, it's a glide down, which I wasn't expecting, but makes total sense for that class, which, like, that class wants to be in the air because when it's in the air, it gets a boost to its shields, which is a cool mechanic. And I kind of begin to I guess, my gripe with some people out there after the VIP demo. A lot of people were posting about how they couldn't get the Storm to, like, do its in the air hover thing without taking too much damage. If you're having that problem, I think you just suck at that game. Like, I was in the air in hover mode with the Storm for upwards of like 5 minutes, I think, with no boosts to that like whole hovering system or something. That thing wants to kind of have like a weird in the air sniper position. Like, its weapons are the heavy pistol, the sniper rifle, and the marksman rifle, because you should never be close enough to use any of the really fast firing or like shotgunny style stuff. Like, you're going to die if you do that. It's sluggish, its dodge is kind of weird, its melee is kind of weird. All of it's like either take time to have effect or have charge ups on them, but it's also the thing that fucking summons meteors from the sky to crush it with, which you have the best vantage for the farther you are in the fucking air.
Yep.
Yeah,
Sounds pretty cool, yeah.
Again, like, the parts of that game are real fucking cool. There's a whole list of technical issues that I'm a little bit concerned about, but also, when that game is cool, that game's really cool, and on that same page, we have been shown in demos and stuff, like not playable demos, but like video stuff they've put out, a better build of this game. And like some of the Q&As like, hey, the weapon impact for these guns suck. And people that BioWare's like, yeah, we know, we're fixing it. We're giving you better feedback. It's like, oh, cool. So like this demo is a weird example of what that game might be because it feels very stripped down, which they have said, hey, we stripped this thing down to kind of hide a bunch of shit from players. But also, like, I would just play the free roam version of like the demos, as kind of not fun as they are. Stuff is genuinely cool. Flying around in the Javelin, at least with a controller setup, which allegedly they fixed PC. I don't know on that one. I haven't got to play a better PC build of it. It's a lot of fun. You feel like fucking Iron Man. That's cool. Like,
Yeah.
there's a game you could make that is just like, hey, we gave you these awesome, luscious maps to fly around in, and the gameplay mechanic is managing kind of your swoop and not swoop and like your overheat and stuff, and just going as far as like it gives me the same enjoyment getting from point A to point B that Racing the Sun does, which is just a game about getting from point A to point B in kind of an expedited, efficient manner. But on the other end of the video game spectrum, I played Dota 2 Auto Chess.
Now, what is that, even?
So we have come full circle, where Dota initially was a custom gameplay made via the map editor system for Warcraft 3. Dota 2 Auto Chess is a mod for Dota 2, which is a bot version of the Dota gameplay type that kind of returns to being a turn-based strategy game, kind of. So I'm going to do a real bad way of explaining this because A, I don't play Dota 2 really. I downloaded Dota 2 because it's fucking lit the internet on fire.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't fully grasp how it works, but I had kind of fun playing it for a little while, and I don't think I'll play more of it. But so the way it works is you load into a map, and it's 8 players at once. And you're not any types of team. It's technically PvP, except when it's not. I think it's like the first 5 rounds are you versus creeps, and the way it works is you buy units that are the genericized versions of generic's the wrong word, but you buy characters from Dota 2 to put onto, I think it's a 10x10 grid field thing in positions, and then they fight other people's selected units, and there's a money system that you're buying units with, and you're also fighting RNG because at the end of each round, you get to pick from a random set, but you can also spend the gold you earn from winning and losing to do that, and it's not you lose, you're out, it's you have a health bar that you lose health based on how many of your opponent's characters are left at the end of a skirmish. And this is where it gets really weird. So your skirmish and your opponent's skirmish don't play out at the same time. So your guys can be fighting someone else's, but they're not really. They're fighting shadows of someone else's. So it's possible for you and your opponent to win in the same round. And I'm doing a real bad job explaining this because it's real weird. Go watch it. It's kind of fascinating. I had more fun watching it than I think I had playing it, but also this is the most fun I've ever had with Dota or anything called Dota. So it is cool in a way it shouldn't be, but also feels kind of like a weird mobile game from my phone. This is definitely a game that begs for a touch interface. I kind of found I played Clash Royale really briefly. It's the same type of fun that game was, but fairer. It's real weird. I started playing because a bunch of Hearthstone people were like, "Hey, you should go check out Dota 2." I don't care what you think ever, Hearthstone people, but Hearthstone people talking about another game? Okay, I'll check that out. And it's weird. It's free because Dota's free, and there are microtransactions to put into the game, and you can buy couriers off eBay and then scan a game, because it's definitely just like an asset steal from Dota and the kind of Steam Workshop. Like there are models in the game that are not in Dota yet because they're not approved from the Steam Workshop yet, which is a whole another weird nightmare. But it's fun. A lot of people are playing it.
Huh.
Like I think it's gotten up to like 100,000 active players all at once or something.
Dang.
Yeah.
That's pretty sizable, actually.
Yeah.
It's like it's the most mod-ass mod ever. Like you'll have giant like big text flying across your. It's just like, yeah, it's Times New Roman. Fuck yeah, it's free. I definitely watch it. Like this is a weird. I don't know how long it will be around. I don't know how long it will be fun to play, but like it's definitely worth checking out just from a like this is a time and place video game thing. Like it feels in the same way that Dota used to Warcraft 3, where it's like this isn't the right way to play this at all, but for a group of people this is a much better game, and you're just using the assets from what it used to feel like to play Dota back in Warcraft 3 days, which is a bizarre world to live in and kind of cool, but also just like, wow. But yeah, that's what I've been playing. What have you been up to, Henry?
Well, my graphics card, I have not replaced it yet, so I'm still stuck sort of playing games that won't tax my poor little onboard video card. So, one thing I played that I thought was kind of interesting, so John Romero, yes, that John Romero, he did a game jam about, I guess it's actually a year ago or something, but he released the game in a sort on his blog more recently. It's a game made in like 10 hours, so it's pretty cool. It's just a little point and click thing, and just sort of like, it's called July 4th, 1976. You can find it on his blog, and it's kind of interesting. It's full of some really, really neat storytelling, actually, with kind of minimalist elements. And it's a point and click, and you sort of click and you find out about what's going on in the history of things, and some things are unexplained purposely, and some things are, and it's actually kind of a cool little experience. It won't take you more than like a few minutes to go through, but kind of cool. The dude is still all about games and game design and stuff.
Is it good John Romero or Daikatana John Romero?
No, it's good John Romero. And I expect the same of Sigil, because Sigil is actually going to be released very soon. I'm looking forward to that. But with those of you that don't know what that is a new Doom WAD that John Romero made over the past year, essentially. And while the box sets for Sigil, which by the way are awesome, they already sold out, the WAD itself is free. He will be, whenever he releases it properly, and it should be this month, it will be free. You can just download it. As long as you have a registered copy of Doom, you can play it. I think that's pretty cool. I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
But the little game jam game, kind of cool. I also finally got around to playing a good bit of Lady Killer in a Bind, and that is a visual novel. It's a visual novel done by Christine Love, Love Conquers All Games, who is a really cool designer. I've played her other stuff, Analog, A Hate Story, and Hate Plus. I really enjoyed those games a lot.
What's it about exactly?
It is... Alright, so the premise, and I don't want to give away too much of it, because
you can't. It's a visual novel, yeah.
It's a fantastic game, but the premise is that you play a character who is a twin, and fraternal twins. So you're the female twin, and your brother is a male twin, and essentially he asks you to take his place on a cruise, because you look so much alike, and basically all you had to do is dress kind of like in suits and stuff, and nobody can tell the difference, apparently, visually. And so it's about you going on this cruise and sort of all the social interactions with the very, very peculiar people on the cruise. Basically, these are his classmates. It's sort of I guess they went to some sort of private school, and this is their cruise that they're doing, like, as, senior crews or graduated senior crews. But it's a fantastic game. It's so good. I mean, and I'm not even that far into it. It's already kind of blown me away at how good it is. And I've played a few visual novels, and a lot of them can be pretty awful and pretty shallow. And this one is not in any sense. It's got well-developed, really cool characters. It approaches sexuality in a truly mature way, like a properly mature way. It is very much on issues of consent, and in a positive way. It's just like that part of it is super good. They even mention it whenever you boot up the game, it talks about the consent thing because it doesn't involve. There are romantic interludes which you can also skip. You can actually put on the option to skip any of their romantic interludes, and some of them can involve BDSM. But it makes it clear that it's all ultimately about consent. And that's the important thing when it comes to like I said, the maturity of the sexual themes here. There's no nasty implied rape here. There's none of that really sickening sexuality stuff. It's wholesome in that it is about consent, but it's just well done. The mechanics of the game are cool. The plot is really excellent. There's so many directions it can go. I mean, there's so many choices at all points. And even choices, and I think one of the cooler mechanics is you can interrupt people, essentially. Like, it'll occasionally bring up choices for you to interrupt, and if you just wait a second, you'll end up with more choices. If you, let the person talk a little longer or let the conversation go on, you'll have more choices of how you want to respond, instead of being impatient. Or it's super cool. I say, if you have a chance to pick it up and you're in this type of thing sounds interesting to you, pick it up. It's super good. She makes great games. She makes some really, really, truly excellent games. I haven't picked up her newest one, but I plan on doing so. But Lady Killer in a Bind, fantastic visual novel.
Cool.
Other than that, yeah, I didn't get up to too much. I mean, essentially, I'm still trying to figure out a replacement for my graphics card.
Yeah.
So,
yes.
So until that happens, I'm just gonna continue to play games that don't tax my system. Basically, I haven't been playing any 3D games.
Nah, sure.
I did pick up a game, though, yesterday, because Ubisoft is having a Lunar New Year sale, which is super cool. And so you can pick up at least one game completely for free, and a lot of their games in general at a pretty good discount right now, actually.
Is that through the Uplay system, or?
That's through the Uplay, so it's not up. So these things are not on sale on Steam. I actually checked. I was curious. They are only on sale in their
So is that through is that through the Uplay system or not?
Yeah, it is through the Uplay system. You could only buy it through the Uplay store. It is not on sale on Steam. I did check that. I did actually check that. And so, yeah, if you go there, you can get in on it. Also, not just the games, all the hoodies and clothing. There's lots of stuff in general is on sale on there. So, I mean, I picked up Discovery Tour as well, Assassin's Creed Discovery Tour, which is massively on sale, and it's my favorite part of Assassin's Creed. It's Assassin's Creed minus the actual game part. It's just Assassin's Creed History Tour, and I think that's awesome. And so this one's on Egypt.
It's for Origins, yeah.
Yeah, it's for Origins, and it's Egypt, and I like history in general, and I'd love to know more about Egyptian history. Yes, thank you. Especially in a cool graphical sense. I haven't installed it yet because I'm afraid it would probably, if I ran it, it would melt it would totally melt my poor onboard video card.
Yeah, probably.
But yeah, so that was my week, buying things that I can't play.
Sounds familiar, but at least you have an excuse.
Yeah.
That's like Dr. I was in the grips of playing way too much Destiny. One's like, oh, I bought this game, I should play it. Not gonna, but I should.
That's every Steam sale. I'm gonna buy
Yeah.
all these games. Have I actually played?
I got into Steam sale way too late. Like, to be fair, I think I've at least opened almost everything I own on Steam that I intentionally bought. Like the stuff they throw, it's like, oh, you bought this game, so we give you 4 games. Fuck that bullshit.
See, for me, it was Humble Bundle. I have,
Yeah.
I've managed not to avoid like double buying a game thus far on Humble Bundle, but
It's the most first worldy problem ever, but like I've managed to, I think it's like one in every like in all the batches of the last couple rounds of PlayStation Plus games, like the big marquee game of we're giving you this for free. This I already own, so it's like, man, if only I'd waited 3 years to play that.
yeah. Well, you know, this month is the last month of them offering PS3 games.
Yeah,
PlayStation Plus. That's kind of sad face.
But
It was coming. It was coming.
yeah, they announced this a while ago.
Yeah, but in return, it's like this month is apparently a pretty big month. They're offering some pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, we don't typically cover that stuff. Yeah, some cool stuff coming that I may play when they come out.
Yeah.
It's very weird. The idea of having For Honor just digital in my library is something appealing, because I already own For Honor for the PS4, but I'd have to get the fucking disc out for it to play it again.
I forgot I have For Honor.
That game has been in the background secretly being really well supported, and I'm excited to dive back in because I technically own a physical copy of that game that I stopped playing because something else came out and made me pull it out of my PS4. I have learned the dark lesson from that game of, if it's a multiplayer game, just buy it digital, Charlie.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that game's on sale too, by the way, in the Ubisoft store.
It's a great
I do
game.
know that.
Yeah. If you've
I'm-
never
I'm-
played For Honor, you should.
Yeah, I'm honestly tempted to, pick it up, to be perfectly honest.
For Honor is a fighting game for people that don't like fighting games because of all the button inputs.
Yeah.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah. Time for
But
news?
yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Alex? Alex?
Oh, I was just messing with you, see if you think your audio's messed
Okay.
up.
Thanks.
No, we're good.
Fuck you. Alright, so first off the bat, we got super scooped last week, and by that I mean hours after we finished recording this podcast, they got out there and announced way more fighters for Dragon Ball Z Fighters. Dragon Ball Fighters Z, whatever the fuck it's called. They came out there and announced 6 more characters for Dragon Ball Super. They are Jiren and Videl, who's also kind of backed up by Great Saiyaman, and Dragon Ball Super Broly and Dragon Ball Super Gogeta. I want to pronounce it I pronounce it Gogeta for a fucking decade. Gogeta is so much cooler than Gogeta.
He's a real go-getter.
Yeah. I didn't know what Gogeta was. Like, I owned a Vegito action figure before I knew what the fuck Vegito was. I'm like, oh, it's like Vegeta's brother. Got it.
So in a weird way, Gogeta technically wasn't lore originally. He was like lore in a sense of like being the offshoot movies.
Non-canon movies, yeah.
Yeah, the non-canon movies. The actual canon character would be Vegito.
Yes.
So it makes sense that people would know about Vegito, but not Gogeta.
No, I knew about Gogeta. I just thought it was pronounced Gogeta. Like, you have to understand, anime was so scarce where I grew up. I learned mostly about Dragon Ball from fucking toys. So,
like, do you call him Gogeta? Like, how would you pronounce it out there in Boston?
Gogeta, probably. Yes, so by the time you're hearing this, and for a couple days since by the time you're hearing this, Jiren and Videl are actually in-game already. Like, this announcement popped up, and I'm like, oh man. But so, there's no gameplay footage of Gogeta, or Gogeta, fucking damn it, or New Broly. We're now officially...
Canonically, Gogeta now.
The SWS version of Gogeta. Yes. Take note, Nikolai tracksuit.
Gogeta.
I like this. I'm a fan of this. There's no official footage of Gogeta or Broly in game, or Dragon Ball Super Broly. Broly's already in the game. But we're now one step closer to my dream of an all Broly DBZ fighting team. So
Oh, dude, all they have to do is add the Broly, like the chemical Broly from
we do
or the
not
clone Broly.
speak of Bio Broly.
Bio Broly, bro, and then
Do
you
not
have 3
talk about
Brolys.
Bio Broly. That's not. That's the extra non-canon previous Broly. Like that's the
It's a Broly brawl.
that's the Broly we DBZ fans of Broly are like, nah, that movie didn't happen. No, it totally did. No, it didn't happen. It made Broly less cool and less dumb. They didn't get Broly at all when they made that.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we've now exceeded at least 2 teams of nothing but unique not Vegeta Goku characters, closing in rapidly on a 3rd.
Mm-hmm. Little tidbit, by the way, just because I'm curious. Do you guys know other than the way they're fused, what the difference is between Gogeta and Vegito?
Yes,
The
I do.
fusion dance is Gogeta, and the earrings are Vegito.
Yeah, but I mean, other than the fusions themselves, what's kind of a big defining difference? between
Vegeta
the
is
two?
the dominant personality in Vegito, and Goku is the dominant personality in Gogeta.
Yeah, I like that tidbit.
Yeah.
I've always been Team Gogeta. Like
I'm
if I
team
didn't choose
Ve-
a fusion.
I'm team Vegito because Vegeta is just infinitely more interesting and has better catchphrases.
Vegeta is a great character overall. I love, especially Bajin Vegito is probably one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But something about Gogeta is just legit.
Well, and I'm gonna say
Gogeta.
me and intellectual Team Piccolo. So
yeah. Who's already a fusion of multiple characters.
technically he's
Yeah.
tri-fused by the end of the franchise.
Yep.
That's right.
And still lagging behind the Dragon Ball, the Goku. And
We
his
can
bunch.
do an episode someday on the bullshitness that is Saiyan biology, which is every time
Yeah.
you get beaten to death, you come back like with a multiplier next to you,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and how maybe Frieza was right to wipe them out. But that's a separate topic.
Yeah. I mean, Piccolo literally merges with God, and that's still not enough to keep up with the Saiyans.
Yeah, it was okay against Cell level up imperfect. What was it? Cell level 2, not as
Yeah, something like
imperfect
that.
Cell.
Yeah.
Worst
Slightly
Cell.
less imperfect.
But even by that point, the Saiyans are already blowing past everybody else.
Yes.
Just ridiculously. But anyway.
Yes. We digress. We're all
Yeah.
apparently DBZ fans at one point in our
Oh,
life.
God. Oh,
Yes.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yes, two unannounced characters coming. There are rumors that they might be more Gokus. Unclear what those Gokus might be, but
Well, one of the ones that I heard was definitely in talks was Kefla. Was it the fusion between Kefla and I think Kefla is the fusion. You know what I'm referring to? Do you guys watch
No.
Dragon Ball Super at all?
not all.
No.
I'm not through Black yet.
Okay, so actually, no, yeah, you wouldn't have seen this one.
You're talking
yeah,
the Broly,
yeah, the female, Broly.
Yeah,
and-
I've heard that one. The one I'd be more interested in that I've heard some rumors about was maybe Bulma or Chi-Chi or Hercule or Mr. Satan, as the intellectuals know him as.
Yeah.
Mr. Hercule was done in the other games. Let him go.
No,
He's
no,
like the
no,
word
it's-
fetch. Stop trying to make it happen.
If Dan can be in more than one Street Fighter game, Mr. Satan can be in more than one Dragon Ball fighter.
Ah.
I need my character.
So I haven't played the game. Is there a young Goku among the choices?
You mean like pre-Super
Goku?
Saiyan Goku? Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a
there
base
is?
Goku, yeah.
I mean, is it Kid Goku?
No, there's
young
not Kid
Kid-
Goku.
See, that's what I want in the game. I would want Kid Goku because Kid Goku is infinitely more fun of a character.
Sure.
And it actually makes sense that he acts like a kid because he's a kid.
What we need is a Super Saiyan Yamcha, guys. I
So-
know it's not possible because he's not written as a Saiyan.
To
But
further
man-
derail us, have you ever read the non-canon story of a Dragon
yeah.
Ball Z fan swaps brains with Yamcha and does what
Yes.
Yamcha would have to do to remain relevant.
Yes, I
No.
have, and it's amazing.
Yeah.
It's
Poor
actually
Yamcha.
really cool. Yeah.
One day, Yamcha. One day.
No,
Although in Dragon Ball Fighter Z, he's actually pretty fucking boss.
he
as
has
a
his
character.
moments. Yeah, there's a guy who specializes in having him as his, like, what's it, third or something like that?
Yeah, the anchor of the team.
Yeah.
Yeah, Goichi.
That Wolfang Fist.
Yep.
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 That's that's more than Yamcha deserves. We need to move on. Get back in your hole, Yamcha.
Yamcha, no.
Moving on to our next news topic. As I mentioned kind of in my week, BioWare really seems to have fixed that Anthem demo. There's some new stuff going on, but they tried real hard and it shows. It's the general consensus amongst those who have played it and those who are more informed on this one is maybe wait a couple days after launch if you're on the fence and then give it a shot. But also, like, the release schedule for that game is so fucking stupid that it's possible that, like, if you're in the, like, premiere program for EA, by the time the game comes out, for the rest of us that aren't willing to subscribe to an EA-based subscription service, they may have fixed the game again, too. So who the fuck knows?
They're scheduled too. Like, you saw the schedule. I'm guessing you're referencing their release schedule.
There's like 5 different release days. Yeah.
Fuck that. That alone has turned me off from even considering buying the game right now.
It's
Fuck your schedule bullshit. Like, it's really annoying.
I would be with you if this wasn't like another time they have done this. They've done this on multiple games at this point. Like, this is EA's thing. The majority of them only really pertain to PC, and it's not like you don't get the game if you just buy the normal game. It's just delayed by like 5 days, which might not be a bad thing. It's not even delayed. Like, it's more like, hey, you get early access. Yeah, are you a streamer? You probably need this. Everyone else? Nah. But also at the same time, the Anthem subreddit is a fucking nightmare.
Oh,
Did you see how they blew up when they released the DLC or the is it DLC or the microtransaction shop?
We talked about this some last week.
No, but there was an actual screenshot that came out.
Yeah,
of, like,
and
what that looks like.
No one knows what the conversion for those prices are. So, like, it's not my job to defend this game, and I'm not going to. But also, like, the amount of undeserved shit this game is getting when it's not even out yet. Like, it's the Destiny fanboys are out in droves against it. The Warframe people are out in droves against it. Like, the anti-EA crowd is like, fuck this game because EA. The, like, people that are still mad about Mass Effect Andromeda are like, fuck this game, it's not Mass Effect 4. It's the YouTubers that after the fucking VIP demo were like, yo, this game is fucked. The reality of where this game is at and the public perception of this game are not equal at this point, and that's a real problem. Like, they will have to find a way to fix that, but it is not deserving of the level of, like, spectacle hate it has right now. I am very comfortable in saying that. Like, it's no one knows what the conversion from real world money to shards is. Shards is dumb, but so is V-Bucks and every other type of in-game currency, but it's what you do to make sure the money stays in the game kind of thing. So, fuck it, whatever. Prices are not finalized. No one can actually access the store yet. That's not in either of the demos that have been out so far. On the flip side, the cosmetic stuff that we did have access to, some of that stuff was pretty cool, and I'd happily pay like a couple of dollars for it. Not 10, but like if you sold me a full set of like all the pieces for $5, I'd probably buy it if it was cool enough. Like the stuff isn't bad. It's purely cosmetic as best I can tell, which again, like when you have Destiny and Warframe out there being like, oh, look at these microtransactions. Fuck you. Both your games have microtransactions for similar, if not more egregious stuff.
Yeah.
And like again, I'm not defending Anthem. This game has gotten caught in the like all the people that made their money off of like Destiny 2 controversy and shit like that, this is them all over again. All the people that are like pissed off this isn't exactly the game they want it to be, also them. Like it's
just a part of the outrage news cycle, you know.
Yeah, it is a cool game that if people gave it a shot could be something. And like it's weird defending an EA product, but also like to anyone who's like, oh, Destiny's different because Bungie. I'm like, they only recently fucking split from Activision, guys, and Activision's literally under investigation right now. I don't think EA has ever had that problem, or at least isn't currently.
No.
It's
not that we're aware of.
Yeah, and that shouldn't be a point I have to make either. Like, it's the games should stand on their own merits. I think Anthem is cool. They did a really good job fixing issues from the VIP demo to the public demo. That should go a long way for goodwill and stuff like that. Also like it's people in the comments being like, "Oh, fuck this day! Like, what's the difference between an LMG, an auto rifle, and an SMG?" You are right; they are all full automatic weapons, but they are very different in game.
Mm-hmm. So I wanted to ask, because you got a chance to play the actual demo and all that. Did they fix the flying situation? Oh, you don't use keyboard and mouse.
I don't play third-person games with keyboard and mouse. It's allegedly for the public demo they have not, but also like, and this is kind of where things get a little bit dicey because the version they've been demoing in their streams is a better version than the game in the demos. Like, and the last stream they put out was them very deliberately saying, "We heard your complaints about mouse and keyboard, and we fixed it."
Okay.
Or we've at least addressed it. Like, I don't know if it's better necessarily, but it is something they are aware of, and the general consensus on PC controls for the public demo has been like, yeah, they're better.
Okay, good.
But I also would argue this game feels way better played with a controller anyway, because it's got that Destiny thing going on where it's like your right and your left bumpers on the controller are like your right and left like hardwire weapons, and there's something cool about doing that. But yeah, I get it. You prefer you prefer mouse and keyboard, and I can't comment on that because I'm never going to play this game that way.
That's fair.
Yeah, like it would not even occur to me. It's like people that play the keyboard version of racing games. Like, just my brain goes, but why? I get it. It's in there, yeah, but why? And like, kind of in the wake of all this too, they've been out there saying like one of the biggest complaints coming out of the VIP demo was you can't run in Fort Tarsus. They've confirmed running in Fort Tarsus will be available. Like, it's weird. Again, like, I'm not trying to defend the game. I'm not trying to shill for the game, but like a lot of the complaints about the game are very fixable things. They're not like fundamentally problematic things. They're like, yeah, you can totally fix this. This is a balancing or like an enabling this movement speed concept.
Yeah, and that's fair.
Yeah, and again, like, and this is where it gets really dumb because, and I think like this was a bad choice on their part. The demos have been versions that are like, based on the streams we've seen, like 2 or 3 months old at least. Like, there was functionality they showed off in the most recent demo that, like, on one hand, it's real cool. It's in there, but it also acts as this kind of bizarre brand of super not most recent because teammate health bars not displayed on your screen. Like, there are so many weird indicators of these demo builds are probably from like 6 months ago, potentially, or something. Like, they are obviously old builds. Like, if you told me this was kind of like the alpha build with a little more polishment, I would believe you, because that's kind of what they feel like. And they should be. But yeah, I don't want to talk more about this. I'm not trying to defend the game. I'm really not. I'm just saying that like this game is getting trampled for unfair reasons. There's lots of very fair reasons to be annoyed by this game. The release schedule is incredibly dumb. The fact this is a BioWare game, it's not going to have the same BioWare level of story, it seems, is a very valid complaint, but also one you can't make until the game is out. Not running in Fort Tarsus, big, very defendable complaint. It was a real problem.
Yeah. Also, I just got an email notification. Charlie, EA says thank you, and the bag of money is on your way.
Sweet. Speaking of money, NetEase has grabbed a pretty sizable chunk of Quantic Dreams, the makers of such fine games as oh god, I've forgotten all of their fine games. They must have made a fine game at some point. No, they made that robot game I trashed a couple weeks ago. That's not a fine game, or the Fahrenheit franchise, or that Ellen Page weirdness. They're the David Cage studio, maker of games that have a level of immersion in them maybe you don't want for a video game.
Yeah, it's like, why does anybody think this guy is good at making games?
Just the games
Sure,
make money.
It's like, sure, what he has made are video games. I would call them a video game. That's about as much credit as I can give it. They have certainly made 2 video games.
Well, I get the impression the general view on David Cage games on this podcast ranges from who the fuck is David Cage and what are his video games to me and Henry that are like, fuck David Cage and all his video games. But like, whether we want to admit to it or not, the games have been trending upwards. Detroit Become Human did better than Beyond Two Souls, which did better than Heavy Rain. They are critically acclaimed and very publicly admired games. Like, I have had bizarre conversations with people that do not play as many video games as anyone on this podcast, or probably anyone who listens to this podcast who's into video games does. That, like, if you're not following who David Cage is, or like less publicized works of similar kind of scale and style, they are impressive games. Like, in the theme park industry, Detroit is very highly regarded because it's visually stunning. And it is. I cannot take that away from that game. It is pretty as hell. It is also the game that David Cage learned racism is a thing that existed and or still exists, but visually it's really quite a spectacle.
Yeah.
Like, our personal feelings aside, those games do well, and they are trending upwards, and it makes total sense that as Quantic Dreams is preparing to split from their kind of partnership exclusivity with Sony to go more multi-platform, that NetEase would go, hey, you guys are successful-ish. What do you want? How about you want this money? Yeah, it makes sense. The idea of more David Cage games out there is not something I'm a huge fan of, but also they were a great. Detroit was a great game to play with only one arm and high on painkillers when I busted up my shoulders. So 5 out of 5 stars. Would play it as the only video game I've been able to play in a month and a half because pain.
Oh.
Yeah. Please, no one give that game a 5 out of 5. Next up on kind of our money talks docket, EA has finally removed FIFA points from the FIFA game in Belgium. Nowhere else is this news kind of relevant or pertinent, but this was because the Belgian government passed a bunch of laws against loot boxes that said they had to be, that EA had to be in compliance with this, and EA said, nah, for several months, and finally they said, nah, back, and they said, okay, fine, as of January 31st, we'll do away with the FIFA point system, and therefore loot boxes kind of thing. If you have FIFA points, I get the impression you can still spend them on loot boxes, but you cannot buy more.
Yep. But it is important because other places in the world, especially, if you just think about the EU, like, are looking at this as it progresses. Because, honestly, it's pretty big when it comes to games, that there's actually legislation that's very specifically aimed at a very specific part of games. So that's interesting, and I think I don't know how narrow or broad their laws are. I haven't done that much research into it, but I do know the world is watching, and minimally the EU is watching.
Well, in this case, it was loot boxes were qualified as games of chance, which is why they got regulated.
Yes. And so, and I think yeah, like I said, the rest of the world is watching, and it's like, is that one way we can kind of rein it in that's still within sort of existing realms of laws? You know, because that's what I mean. Even here, the FTC is looking into it for the same reasons, basically, as is this gambling? So, but I mean, the fact that EU did finally acquiesce instead of just, taking their game out of Belgium is interesting. Is Belgium not that large of a country, really?
No.
It's not. It's not a huge country, and so they had to go in and specifically disable something in the game for one country. So that, I think that also says something. I don't know what it says, but it certainly is a message.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is definitely the first like critical point, I guess, in like, I wonder how much of a ripple effect this is going to have with other countries and their laws and how they view DLCs and things like that, which would be interesting considering you're starting to hear about options where, like, you're not buying a loot box, you're pretty much getting, exactly what you're buying, so to speak.
Yeah.
Kind of like how in Fortnite, I don't know if, I think they still have loot boxes, but I don't think they do push that anywhere near as much as they do, like, hey, this is the stuff that's available today. So, it'll be interesting.
Yeah, it's not to offend our Belgium-based listeners, but even EA's reaction to this was, despite being unhappy with it, was kind of like, it's Belgium. Which is not fair, but also, they're not.
But like I said, they did change it for a single country, and they didn't have to do that. I mean, they did to sell there, but they could have also just pulled out of Belgium, in a sense.
And I think it's one of those ones where it's just Belgium. It's not the EU as a whole. If it was all of the EU, I'd be having a different reaction to this, but it's one of those ones where are you losing sales? Probably. Is it a meaningful slice of the pie? Probably not, unfortunately. Like, I'd like this to be a more meaningful impact than it's going to be.
But that's, like I said, that's actually the part of it that surprises me so much, in that it's not that much of their income.
But it's them avoiding potential lawsuits. That's the bigger deal. It's they're losing income but avoiding a much larger ramification.
Yeah.
It makes financial sense to probably do this, for better or worse. Yeah. Moving on to an old punching bag of ours, Fallout 76.
Hey, the gift that keeps on giving.
Sort of. I think this is officially the last time we're going to talk about Fallout 76 because we've hit this kind of Groundhog Day purgatory moment. We've come full circle where a patch to fix things in the game has broken one of the biggest issues from, like, the beta, I think.
Wow.
And brought back not a game-breaking glitch, but like a thing that was fixed for a chunk of time and now isn't. I'm assuming by the time this podcast goes up, it's been fixed again, but a patch for the game made it so that bobby pins weighed significantly more than bobby pins do in the real world. A really dumb sentence to be said out loud, but in-game it was a bigger deal because you could not carry infinite bobby pins for picking locks. They had an actual weight to them that was like a multiple of 1,000 more than actual bobby pin really weighs.
Yeah.
In game, it was proportional-ish, but like in the real world, like how many hundreds of bobby pins do you think you could put in your hand before you even noticed you were holding bobby pins?
Yeah, they aren't made of like spent uranium core.
Not
they
yours,
aren't that.
Mine are.
Yeah, you got the heavy duty one.
Yeah, I got thick hair. Needs the depleted uranium round ones. If I can't shoot it out of a tank to kill another tank, I'm not putting it in my hair. It's the message you should take away from this. But yes, like this is dumb and tragic and Groundhog-esque, but the real coming full circle is that in Germany, they are literally giving copies of Fallout 76 away with other purchases, like video game controllers and other video games.
Yeah.
Not selling it as a discount, just giving you the other copies.
And not even for new controllers. It's coming packed with used controllers.
They are literally looking for any way to get rid of them.
That's amazing.
Have we reached Duke Nukem Forever levels of failure
I think
when it
we're
comes to
kind of
76?
beyond Duke Nukem.
Oh, we're
Forever.
well beyond that. Just in
Duke Nukem
in a
was
very different sense.
Duke Nukem was a bad game, and I get that, like, for you, Alex, Duke Nukem will always feel personal, but for the rest of us that were smarter than you, Duke Nukem was just like, not surprised at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Duke Nukem was a sad, but, like, inevitable, where it's like, of course it's bad. Who thought it was going to be good? This is like, wow, this is... We were not podcasting back when Duke Nukem Forever came up, but if we had been, it would have been like, Duke Nukem is out. In other news,
Fair enough.
it's bad. Who knew? Moving on from that. Kind of in a similar, like, what the fuck was someone thinking vein. That's Duke Nukem Forever, not a Fallout 76. Ubisoft invites you to their Division 2 private beta with a truly tone-deaf email that I personally fucking think is great. So, an email went out from Ubisoft inviting you to this private beta on the grounds that they would invite you to see what a real political shutdown looks like.
Oh, it's so on the nose, but I think it was kind of funny.
Oh no, but remember, this is a game that during E3 and since E3 when they unveiled it, Ubisoft has been out there screaming as loud as they can, there is nothing political about The Division 2.
Other than the fact that it takes place in the nation's capital.
Nothing political about The Division 2.
Other than the idea that they've declared martial law, and there's different organizations now trying to pull for power in areas.
Alex, you're bringing up a lot of facts and proof and support to the idea that Ubisoft doesn't know what the word political means. But I, as the person who reads these things, can only remind you that Ubisoft has gotten out there and said there is nothing political about a video game that takes place in a war-torn version of the U.S. Capitol and features phrases like the next Civil War of America in its promotional material.
Yes. In other news, there is no war in Ba Sing Se.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's... Wow, it's... I mean, to say tone deaf doesn't even cover it, because this was a thing that literally just happened, and people right now are still... They haven't recovered from it. People are still scrambling to try to hold on to their homes. I mean, and to find money to eat because they haven't been paid for so long. So, I mean, that's pretty awful, but not totally unexpected from sort of heartless marketing types who aren't actually human and lack emotions.
And in Ubisoft's defense, they got out there immediately. They were like, "Yo, that email we sent was probably a bad move," but it was already out there, and there were glorious pictures of it taken. So,
oh yeah,
we get to talk about it.
Oh yeah, I'll just piggyback onto that. It is like we know that the Division 2 will not be on Steam. That is fact.
Yeah, let's deal with that now. So, in some ways, the biggest news of the week is that Metro Exodus is joining Division 2 on the Epic launcher platform. Unlike the Division 2, Metro Exodus was available for pre-order on Valve, and you can no longer do that. They have said that pre-orders will be honored, but a year from release is when you'll be able to buy it through Steam again.
Crackdown 3 also not going to be on Steam.
And neither will Gears of War 5 when that comes out. Like, Gears of War 4 wasn't. That's a Microsoft game, though, too.
Yeah.
But kind of bring it back to Metro for a second. Unsurprisingly, people reacted to this by beginning to review bomb the Metro games on the Steam platform, which is a goddamn shame because Metro games are really fucking good.
Because that's what mature people do in that scenario, is to take it out on other games that have already been out. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Good job, moron.
Because that's going to make a difference. Something.
Well, so, Anne, I'm not sure how closely you can follow this. I followed it because I went from being like, yeah, I'm going to play Metro Exodus to, holy shit, that game comes out in like 3 weeks, doesn't it? Huh. I'm going to replay those Metro games, to being like on the Metro pages and having this shit going on. I'm like, what the fuck? So I found myself following it, and like the number of people posting like, I was super excited, not getting this game, gonna pirate it now. It got to the point where the developers behind Metro got out there and basically said, yeah, if we have proof that like the majority of PC sales of this game are pirated, if there's a Metro 4, we're not going to release it on PC. That's just how it works.
Yep.
Like, it's not like you can't play it on PC. You can play it on a different platform from a business
it's really seriously not a big deal.
Yeah, it's the console
if you
wars.
Have any other Epic games? You already have the Epic's thing on your platform your computer, anyways. So.
Oh no, and then this has been in a fun week too of me stumbling across lots of people gatekeeping Epic Games, where it's like, remember back when Epic Games made Gears of War and not Fortnite? Which I respond, remember back when Epic Games made Unreal Tournament and not Gears of War?
Yeah.
Fuckers.
Yeah.
Fuck you, games change. I remember being real upset there was no new Unreal Tournament. Like, we made Gears of War, and I'm like, that's not Unreal Tournament. Oh, Chainsaw Bayonet. That looks cool.
Yep.
And kind of on top of all of this, we've never talked about this before on the podcast because the numbers were a little complicated for me to digest in a meaningful manner. But, so, part of the success of the Epic launcher has been, it's something like 70% of the active users of it, people that log into it frequently, have never actually used Steam before. Like,
really?
The overlap between the Epic launcher and Steam is significantly less than I think the majority of people thought. Like, for a lot of people, Fortnite is literally the first PC game they've ever played.
Wow.
And
that's fascinating.
It's not so much that the Epic launcher is stealing. As of right now, it does not speak. It will soon with this type of news, but like, it wasn't stealing stuff from Valve. It was bringing people that had never played PC video games to the PC. And there is some overlap, but like, the giant install numbers of the Epic launcher are not because of anything but Fortnite. Like, they exist purely from Fortnite kind of thing, which is not available through Valve. And it makes all the business sense in the world to try and bring some of those people that are not on there because they do not play. People like me who have the Epic launcher because they were giving away free games. Literally, that's why I installed it. If you haven't done that, you should do so. They've given away some pretty okay free games, by the way. And because I was curious about that Hades thing from the Supergiant Games people. Like, I am super excited for Metro Exodus. I fucking love the Metro games. Hell, I'm playing through the 2 other Metro games because I'm like, oh shit, though, like, Metro Exodus is coming. I could just play the last 2 Metro games quickly again. They're really fun. Yeah. I personally don't care. I'm used to consoles. I'm used to kind of like, I have 4 different installers right now on my desktop, on my laptop, because that's how many places video games are played. Like,
same.
Yeah, I understand it's not in Valve, but also grow the fuck up. Welcome to the console wars, but the lowest stakes version of the console wars, because it's not like you have to buy the Epic launcher, you just have to download it. And you can still get as many games through Steam as you want, but occasionally you're going to have to venture outside of your comfort zone, I guess, and play on another platform.
God, it's just, we as humans, we are such obviously animals. It's like, we will make a tribe out of anything, just any excuse to make a tribe so that we can fight and bicker and battle over dumb things. Like, now it's launchers, not even on like a separate system. It's not like Epic Games launchers only on Mac OS or something. No, they're all available across. You could, I'm like you said, I'm sitting here looking at 4 different ones on my desktop. I don't really care. I can play them all on PC.
You
It
can
doesn't-
have the Steam launcher and the Epic Game Launcher open at the same time, even. And then use
And you
Discord
play
to chat
and-
to your friends.
Yeah, and you play, and the Blizzard app, and the Origin app. It's like you can have them literally all open at the same time and play whatever you feel like. But yeah, we're big dumb animals.
And the only, and this is kind of like with a giant fucking asterisk next to it, the only semi-valid argument I've heard against the Epic launcher in the grand spectrum of things is the Tencent involvement and the fact that there have been some games like Ring of Elysium that had some weird controversy of having some malware as part of the install, but you know where Ring of Elysium's available in the US market? Steam.
Bum, bum, bum.
To rewind to the actual story of Metro Exodus coming to Epic only on PC for the first year, it makes a lot of sense. The money split on Epic is far more favorable than the one on Steam. Even Steam's revamped, looking better on paper one is not better than the Epic one.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's just a fact. It's the scummy, money grubby, however you want to describe it, from a pure, where are we going to get the best cut for our game? It's Epic. Technically, it's Discord, but that's a whole other nightmare.
Yeah.
If you're looking for $1 billion idea, make a program that accesses all of my libraries at once so I don't have to go through multiple libraries to find a game. All I'm saying. Make it good. There are versions of that out there that suck, but like if you could make a program that just does that for me, you will make a lot of money.
So a sort of meta launcher.
Yes.
Otherwise known as an operating system.
Yeah, it's on the list. Like I'd be okay with
Yeah.
like Excel doc level like interface. Just here's all the games you own. Click this link to play. Like, yes, click.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I get it.
I guess while we're on the topic of Epic, we can jump to Fortnite for a second. Alex, can you pronounce this music person's names better than I can? Marshmallow?
It's just Marshmallow, yeah.
Is it just Marshmallow?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just Marshmallow?
Yep.
Okay, looks like it's spelled weird or something. He is a very popular music person, man thing, in a mask with the children, it seems, or the young people. He did a 10-minute live concert, I guess, in Fortnite. People seem pretty pleased with it.
Which is pretty cool.
Yeah, I watched some videos of it, and I'm like, this is neat. I think the coolest part of it was on his tour schedule, he listed Fortnite's Pleasant Park as a venue and the date.
Mm-hmm.
That's my favorite
That's
version of
actually-
it.
That's pretty cool, actually. I
Yeah.
think it's just kind of a furthering of sort of the melding between the online world and the offline world, and how there's not there's differences, but the division is sort of shrinking or becoming grayer.
I'd like to point out this is probably one of the first mainstream ones, but definitely not the first virtual concert in like a game environment.
Yes, we are aware that. We're also aware that kind of some of this stuff was done in the Matrix Online. Yes, Alex, I listen to you when you talk.
That's right. It was, but also it was done on Second Life.
Yep.
And I think there was another game where, who was it? Oh, I can't remember, but there was another DJ who actually did a live show in another game that was online. I know Second Life was one of them, but there was another one. I can't recall off the top of my head. I'll find it.
Underfill's Dead Mouse. I don't know.
I feel like it might have been Deadmau5.
Feels like a dead mouse thing to do.
Yeah. For some reason that just sounded right to me.
Yeah. Nah, I seemed to go over pretty well. People seem pleased with it. Like, Marshmallow's no stranger to Fortnite, I guess. He was involved with Ninja at some point, so this isn't a big surprise for some that, I don't know. But people seem down with this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what it was? It was Minecraft. They did something.
Oh,
Monster Cat. Monster Cat, the YouTube channel,
Oh yeah,
had a
yeah.
whole thing with Minecraft. Yes, they did a whole festival.
Mm. Yes, yes.
So,
cool.
yeah. We're getting there, but everyone knows the original was The Matrix Online.
Yeah. Gaming is just so much more. I mean, it's crazy to watch gaming get so super mainstream because it's been in and out of mainstream, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like in the 70s, it was pretty mainstream. It was like people of many ages played lots of video games and arcades and everything. It was and then it kind of quieted down a while and became, I guess the console era kind of forced us all back into our musty, dark corners of rooms with our TVs and consoles, but we've seen it explode back out into the mainstream, and I think that's interesting.
Yeah. What do you guys want to do next? Sony news, Stardock, or Titanfall?
Let's do Stardock.
Okay,
Stardock.
I kind of expected you might be actually up on this one, Henry, but in case you're those playing along at home, Stardock is a company that has made a game called Star Control Origins, which my understanding of the saga, as we talked about this before, I believe, is the owners of the franchise is not totally clear who owns the IP at this point. They got permission to, they made a game, it's doing okay, it's a thing out there, and then they were the first video game ever to have their game taken down via the DMCA system.
Yep.
For those unclear what that is, that's the Digital Media Copyright Act. It's back. It's for sale. They're entering into a new round of ongoing lawsuits, but the game is back at least. It's truly a mess.
Yeah.
But
I mean, it's a similar kind of. I guess it wasn't as much of a battle, but with Sony owning the rights to make movies about Spider-Man and X-Men.
yeah,
And then Disney, but now all that's kind of. But yeah, I mean But yeah, the battle between the two, and it's really weird who owns the. I mean, it is bizarre to what they're claiming ownership on. The whole thing is weird, but yeah, the DMCA thing, that is nuts. I mean, that's a very, very weird use of the DMCA, and I guess in a certain sense I'm kind of glad that it got undone, essentially, to be honest. I wouldn't. That seems like a something that could be way too easily abused. It's already abused a lot.
Yeah.
DMCA has been abused mainly on YouTube a lot, really abused on YouTube. Just take off something that somebody doesn't like, as opposed to actually breaking anything. And in this case, it's. I mean, I can kind of understand, but yeah, that's the DMCA is troublesome as it is. It is. I don't like it in general, but this is just a pretty horrendous way of using it. In my own opinion.
that's been the general reaction to it too. Like, again, this is the first and only game that I'm aware of that wasn't egregiously in violation. This is the first mainstream game, even of games that maybe should have been DMCA'd, to actually be DMCA'd.
Yeah.
Interesting times. Let's do a quick one next. So, literally on the day this podcast officially goes up, this news may come to pass. It's kind of a bit of a rumor, but it seems concrete enough we're going to talk about it anyway. A free-to-play Titanfall Battle Royale game allegedly comes out on the 4th of January in the U.S. Now, I have heard nothing about this game prior, despite being a huge Titanfall fan, so if this is a real thing, I might be very interested.
This is kind of intriguing, though.
It's called Apex Legends. It will be coming for PC, Xbox, and PS4. It's free-to-play Battle Royale, as I mentioned. You won't be able to use the Titan mech suits, so it's going to be mostly the kind of, what are they called, the pilots, free-running mechanics and stuff, which could be a real cool thing. And the characters will have abilities. So we will see what this is like. It feels like it's kind of a Call of Duty Black Ops Battle Royale style thing, potentially. So,
I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah, as long as this is
I mean,
Titanfall 3, I'll be happy.
Yeah, well, Titanfall seems like a game that would make for a very cool battle royale.
Oh, yeah.
So, so
the Titanfall is a weird game where like it's the Titans would make it super iconic, but like the original game a couple years like I think it's like a year after its release, people were primarily playing the No Titans pilot only mode because like the level of traversal in that game was real fucking cool. And then Titanfall 2 came out and launched with both Titan and Titan free modes, and like there are reasons to do both, but yeah, that game is real fun. I would watch some esports of that hypothetically. This high level play of that game is nuts.
Yeah.
And last but not least on our news this week, again, this one's a bit of a rumor, so throw a little asterisk next to it in your brain. Sony filed a patent that for the PS5, most probably, that pertains to backwards compatibility. The patent, the American version of the patent's kind of vague in its translation and all that jazz, so some of this is kind of reading between the lines, but the patent talks about basically addressing the idea of making hardware and a system inside the PS5 that would be capable of not only reading and essentially simulating the infrastructure and architecture of the PS4, but of all of Sony's platforms to date.
Which is crazy.
And it's not clear. It's not clear if that would mean you could just put a PS1 game in a PS5 and it'd work, but it really kind of hints at that.
Which that'd be nuts. I'd be super cool, but I hope they roll with that.
And around the time this patent came out, someone, I think it was at Digital Foundry, got out there and said something along the lines of, "Oh, the PS5 will absolutely have backwards compatibility," and like can't confirm exactly what this patent goes into, but there's enough around this that it seems pretty viable.
I'll just piggyback something real quick onto the end of that. So that Nintendo is reportedly trying to go for a smaller version of the Switch to put that out this year, even as early as this year.
I think we talked about that last week. There have been some rumors about some hardware redesigns. Yeah, nothing official yet that I saw.
But now we've got something more, like, it's in a Japanese newspaper.
Okay, I missed that, yeah.
And so, on Nikkei report, they're smaller and cheaper Switch model. And essentially, it seems like a move to kind of replace the 3DS as their kind of mobile platform. Which makes sense. I mean, the DS has had a long and illustrious career with some truly fantastic games. But I don't know how long that they're planning on supporting it.
They've officially announced they're ending support for it, but I think the article you brought up kind of hints at the idea that there is a world where a mobile-only Switch is a thing you could sell.
Yeah,
and I think we live in that world.
Oh yeah, the mobile systems have always sold amazingly better than everything else, if only because of price point, to be honest. Like, which would you rather buy your child? A $500 console with $60 to $80 games? Or a $150 console with games that are as cheap as $20? So, I mean, that's kind of a no-brainer.
And in the same vein,
for most families
in the past, is the idea that, like, as a Switch owner, I would happily buy a more rigid, better designed Switch. Like, if you lost that whole stupid nunchucking off the side thing, I would be very interested.
Yeah. But yeah, I just thought I'd throw that in there, because now there's some more news on it anyway.
Yeah.
So it's more than just rumor.
The next round of consoles could be very interesting.
Yeah.
It'll be very interesting, to say the least.
Yeah.
Yes, we just said that.
Very
Shut up! Why are you like this?
Why are you the way that you are?
News is over. We're doing emails now. God. I give the Matrix Online credit once, and this happens.
Yeah, don't encourage him.
Yeah. We're gonna start with the beating the dead horse email. Fuck it.
Yep.
Let's go.
You wanted to contact us, Alex. How'd you go about doing that?
You'd go ahead and pull up the email client of your choosing, and in the to column, you would simply put wickedawesomecast@gmail.com.
What's that email again, Henry?
That is wickedawesomecast@gmail.com.
Wickedawesomecast@gmail.com, spells it sounds, down the show notes, etc., etc. Please send us emails blaming Alex, for how bad the intro to emails was this week. He's the reason they were taken away from you.
Interesting.
This one comes in from Kyle. Dear Wicked Awesome class, last week the idea of giving up on an ongoing news story was brought up due to cast inertia on a topic. Didn't carry through this week though. Apparently, I'm a relatively recent listener Sorry, so the Blizzard and Fallout 76 sagas have been my first experience with you three covering ongoing stories. I'm assuming that these are not the first topics, and with that in mind, do you have, for whatever reason, any favorite stories that just wouldn't die? If so, was there a point where you did a 180 on the topic? The most obvious one, I think this predates both of you, was The Division.
Oh, well, I caught around some of the beginning of that, actually.
Yeah.
So
and that one was kind of fun to follow because, like, it had this very interesting, like, almost literary arc to it where it was, the game came out and people were like, okay, cool, the game was out. And then, like, 2 weeks after the game being out, the game caught on fire, and not, like, small on fire, like, people glitching through walls in the Dark Zone and making that place a hellscape to play in on fire.
Yeah.
And then, like, Ubisoft didn't fix it for, like, 3 weeks, and every week something worse seemed to get, like, stacked on to the existing inferno that was, the Division's on fire. And then eventually they just turned it around, and then we were covering, like, yeah, so they're fixing the Division. So, like, it went from, like, the Division's out, Charlie's playing it, to the Division's on fire, to, yeah, the Division's playable again, I guess.
yeah, but it took a while for that third
like
curve to
6
come back.
months.
Like it was just, I thought the game was just dead. Like I didn't hear anything about it, and then
I did too.
oh,
yeah.
they're fixing things.
No, I stopped playing it because, again, because of this podcast, I have to kind of follow the news more closely, and the idea of playing a game that just had some of the issues I kept reading about, I'm like, why am I doing this to myself? The destiny is right there, and it's not full of this.
Yeah. No, I remember that saga. I remember following that storyline, so that was a fun one to do, and it's actually kind of nice because I think it was actually once it came back into the news cycle that it was doing better. I actually downloaded it again and gave it another shot, and I actually enjoyed it the next time around.
Yeah,
Not everything was a fucking bullet sponge.
So and to compare that thing to Fallout 76 for a second, like, Fallout 76 was never as on fire as The Division was. Like, that's a weird thing to say. Like, The Division was this kind of bizarre thing where, like, it came out, seemed solid for about a week and a half, and then, like, Hindenburged itself. Like, it went from 0 to what the fuck happened in, like, a patch, and it just kept burning, and, like, DLC got delayed and canceled, and, like, things were, like Alex, I assumed the game was dead. Like, all signs pointed to this was just a game that you now walk the fuck away from. Like, and they turned around and made a good game, but, like, it's the all past video game company behavior looked like, okay, yeah, a lot of people bought this. We sold, like, 3 million copies. Maybe we'll sell some more, but it's time to cut and run. And they didn't. And that's kind of what was the 180 topic on that one. Like, it's when they, like, Axel said, when they started supporting the game, we got to come back and be like, yeah, the game doesn't suck anymore, apparently. Can you confirm? Sure, I'm not playing The Division. I got these Destiny raids to do. Yeah, that's definitely the one I think in SWS history we had the most fun following. And, like, Fallout 76 just kind of dragged. It was like, yep, the game's still broken. The Division was like, okay, people are glitching through walls 1 week. Next week, someone found a pistol in the game that does 1,000,000x damage. Next week, someone found 2 pistols in the game that do 1,000,000x damage. Week after that, there's a gun that shoots fire. Nothing is supposed to shoot fire. Week after that, people found ways to make themselves invincible in PvP. No, it's not the glitching out of bounds glitch. It's a totally different glitch. Which they still haven't fixed the glitching out of bounds one. So you get these videos of people, like, invincible squads fighting each other, and the game just losing its shit. Yeah, there was an entertaining comedicness to it that made it just more bearable, that, like, the Fallout 76 and the Blizzard stuff just hasn't had. Like, I know we don't act like it, but we never want a game to do that. Like, despite all my skepticism, I was prepared to eat crow and be like, yeah, Fallout 76 is fine.
Yep.
But it wasn't.
Nope. I have to say the fastest, like, just switcheroo has been Blizzard, though.
Yeah, that one's gonna be really, really
and
hard.
that's just been since my run. It's like, how they tanked themselves so quickly in so little time. It's just like, that was a, wow. I mean, that, not on so much fun to cover, but just, I can't believe that it's heading downhill this quickly.
Yeah. That one has an impish glee of enjoyment for me because, like, literally the week before the shit hit the fan, me and Alex had a very angry argument as our main topic about what the nature of BlizzCon was, and then, like the week or the week after, like, within, like, 2 weeks, Alex was on the podcast being like, yeah, BlizzCon shouldn't be a thing, it's a giant advertising scam.
Well, I think it was after BlizzCon that I changed my mind on it, because it basically was the way it was handled. Like,
Inferno.
It was, oh god. Yeah, no, it was bad. And the fact that, like, I actually had told Charlie this, and it still is in my mind, but there's a panel on merchandise at BlizzCon.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Like, a panel on merchandise. I don't give a shit about the panel for merchandise.
Like, you could have a display of your merchandise. Like, that's pretty normal.
And that's totally cool. That's fine. Have a vendor shop.
Yeah. That's expected. But nobody really wants to hear about how you marketed and created it. Nope. That's literally what no gamer cares about.
I don't care what the backstory is on a Diva backpack. I really fucking don't.
But Alex, what if you paid to watch that advertising live stream?
Oh wow, yeah.
I really don't.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
The Star Citizen saga definitely jumps to mind. That's less of a clusterfuck as more just a, like, for so long the story has been, this may be a scam. We're pretty sure it is. And the story still is. This sure seems like a scam, but Charlie has money in it now, so,
Charlie's invested now. There's no going back.
Yeah. I think I'm missing an obvious one we had a lot of fun with.
I'm actually trying to think of one we've done that. I mean, the Division one was a big one.
Yeah,
but, like, I can't recall one that we followed.
Definitely have a couple, because there's definitely some stuff we followed.
I would say the ongoing coverage of, I don't know if it's necessarily a twist, but the ongoing coverage one, maybe during, like, Adpocalypse and the YouTube drama with different YouTubers, maybe?
Yeah. That one's not so much fun as just, like, I know we got sick of covering it just because it was like, okay, the aspect of that was, like, how is PewDiePie gonna fuck up this week?
And the thing was, it wasn't just him. Like, it was multiple people. Just like, okay, what did YouTube fuck up this time? Or what did YouTubers fuck up this time? Oh, it was Logan Paul doing this shit. Oh, it was the other Paul doing this shit. Oh, it was PewDiePie. Oh, so-and-so. Oh, YouTube's jumping in and doing fucked up shit now. Okay, YouTube. Like, it was just, that whole ecosystem just kept feeding bullshit for a long time. I think we got tired of it.
That thing totally changed. Like, you got to watch in, like, real time as the gaming media space changed in bizarre and meaningful ways, and not like in a slow way, and like grand sweeping evolution rapidly happening in uncontrolled ways type of ways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially during Adpocalypse.
Yeah.
Both 1 and
Yep.
2, if you will.
Yeah. Nothing else comes to mind. I feel like a bunch of our ongoing coverage ones were back with Jeff, just because like that was a couple years ago, back when you didn't support games the way you do now. Like there's probably some ongoing Destiny shit we covered at some point that was just like, yep, Thorn is
Yeah.
still broken. People are still outraged. A personal one I like to follow are the like legitimate news sites, like Forbes is perpetually posting stuff about Destiny, and that's bizarre, but also kind of cool in my book. Like,
Yeah.
they have someone that loves writing about loot shooters, so like he's been writing about Warframe and Anthem and Destiny 2 a lot lately, and it shouldn't matter, but it's kind of fun having Forbes write about games I care about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And like the guy obviously plays them. He has like an upbeat. He's like, yeah, here's what's going on. Like, but it's a very like it's a very Forbesy version of like, let's deep dive into some shit about these games that like most gamers won't care about, but you who read Forbes, who has a kid who plays video games, might find interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for writing in, Kyle.
Yes. Thank you.
All right, next one from Otis. Dear Rick and Awesome Cast, well, on a trip to Charlie and Jeff's home city, I realized that your podcast contains Boston slang. This got me thinking about slang and how we live in a time where it feels like there's more slang than ever, which got me thinking about my favorite slang words. You frequently say to ask you anything, so today I ask, what is your favorite modern slang phrase or word, and why? Oh, I got two that are obvious.
Okay.
I like flex and stunt.
Those are classics.
I love both versions of flex. Like, I'm going to flex on them fools, and I love weird flex, but okay.
Yeah, that's a good one. I like
Yeah.
weird flex, but okay.
And stunt's just a way of life, so.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna go ahead and just throw out swag. Yes.
Yeah, that's what I thought you'd
Yeah.
say. I
That's
saw
that's
this
in
and
my
went like, Alex was going to say swag.
swag. Swag.
That's a bad podcast. Bad. Should burn this episode.
You know why? Because you couldn't hurt me this time, Charlie. You couldn't
will
ruin
find a
Pop-Tarts
way.
or something else to hurt me with this week. That's why.
What do you got, Henry?
Yeah, I'm trying to think, but I'm not actually sure. I mean, I guess it's because part of what I do, like, I don't tend to use a lot of slang,
No,
to be
fair.
honest. I use a certain amount, and the slang that I use is ancient. Like, I still say rad, unironically. I mean, so, yeah, I don't even know. I don't even know what my favorite slang would be. I mean, I can think of memes, but I'm not thinking of slang. I guess that's... And I know there's slang associated with the memes that I enjoy, but I can't even think... I can't actually think of something.
Hmm.
I'm trying to rack my brain. And I'm sure there's some slang that I'm probably using a lot, and I just don't even notice anymore because I use it so often. But I'll have to think about that one for a second.
Hmm.
What about you, Alex?
We already
Or,
covered
oh, yeah,
Alex.
you already
I
said
already
that.
did mine.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Swag.
swag. Yeah. I
I most just enjoy the realization of, oh shit, that podcast contains fucking Boston slang, and then immediately followed by projectile vomiting into an alley.
Yeah, I don't know, like, thick. I kind of like the THICC. I think that one's...
Thick with
fun.
2 C's.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Someone told me once that the thick with 2 C's spelling is so you got double eyeballs for double the focus. I don't believe that that's the explanation for it, but someone said it once. I thought I'd tell you now. Double serving. Yeah, we're moving off that. That's creepy.
Yeah.
That does it for email this week. Y'all got anything else you want to talk about before we get out of here?
Nope. No, I'm good for now. Other than you can follow me on my social medias, Mave Online across the board. That's everything.
You can follow me on Instagram and Facebook as Kraken Zero. That is ZER0.
Oh, I guess breaking news. It is possible that as part of the last day of the Anthem demo, they may show off some endgame because some weird murder vortex has opened up in the sky of the Anthem demo.
Oh boy!
There's
Have for me to
rumors
download
something
it.
might happen, but it's not clear what that means.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Time to get on that.
Yeah. Get off this so I can go check that weirdness out. That seems intriguing. But yeah, podcast will be back next week, etc., etc. Me and Alex now have like a couple weeks before Anthem comes out. So, are you still buying that game, Alex, or nah?
I'm on the fence about it right now.
Sure.
But
Wind up buying it.
more than
We should
likely-
stream that when it comes out.
Yeah, I probably will end up getting it, but yeah.
I am gonna try and rejigger the YouTube channel some this week so that at least Alex and Henry's. You have a YouTube channel, right, Henry?
Not the one that I actually use.
Oh, fair enough. If you send me that, I will set it up so that at least whenever you post stuff, it'll show up on the SWS channel, so it's easier to find your stuff, hypothetically. Or just go to, and
Oh, cool.
you'll still be linked to your sites or your channels.
Hmm.
But yeah, if we got nothing else to talk about, who wants to close it out?
Metal.